Good evening, everybody. It is the 8th of July 2020. It is 7 p.m. here in the UK. And this is Wednesday night Stream Whiskies live broadcast. Good to see you. Good to see anyone that is joining us this evening. As ever, we have a load up for grabs for you this evening. It is week 23 of our broadcast. So this is 23 weeks in a row. Actually, it's 22 because, of course, we did miss one couple of weeks ago, but 23 weeks in a row that we've been doing these broadcasts, and we're bringing another great broadcast to you this evening. So what do we have up this evening? Well, of course, as ever, shortly we've got the announcements of our winners for last week's whiskey competition, last week's spot prize competition. We have our Whiskey Geek of the Week, which is really gathering momentum. It's sort of turning out to be one of the more popular parts of what we do. And this week's questions have been set by last week's Whiskey Geek. So that is Matt Norfolk, who you might remember won last week. So he has set the questions for this evening. Who's with us, by the way? Kieran, good to see you. David Rose, Paul Slade, Laura, good to see you all. Jeff as well from Southern California, which is not far from my sister, Jeff. Yeah, so we've got our Whiskey Geek of the Week. We've got the, obviously we've got the winners announcements coming up. We have 3 cocktails as ever for you, including our Mix With Me cocktail for later on in the broadcast. And just in case you don't know what the ingredients are for that, we need you to have the following: whiskey, apple juice, triple sec or Cointreau, which is something you should have had last week if you did it with us last week, some cream, and some maple syrup. Got a really nice drink up for grabs for you. Plus, of course, the other 2 that I'll be making for you all as well. Mark, how are you doing? Good evening. Paul Musson is on the Jim Beam Devil's Cut. I like that Devil's Cut, actually. Paul, nice little drop there. Matt, of course, Matt Norfolk, saying hi to everyone, is our quiz master tonight. Obviously, I'll be reading them out, but Matt has set the questions as our reigning Whiskey Geek of the Week. Adrian Suntory Toki, again, in hand. Well, why not? If you've got it, you might as well put it in your hand. Gary Cummins, good to see you. Dave, drinking an Aberfeldy 12. Well, what have I got on the go? I've got this. And this, as you know, I've had on the back shelf for a couple of weeks. This is I'll show you the empty bottle, shall I? There you go. I've got the Ben Riach 10 on the go. I had the Curiositas up I think last week or the week before, might have been last week, but I've decided to do away with the peat this evening, and yeah, got this on the go. Who else is with us, by the way? Gary's got a Jameson's. Cat Jam, how you doing? It's just Cat Jam. Sounds like a game, right? Anyone want to have a game of Cat Jam? It sounds pretty cool. I love your name. Hi, I'm on an Ardbeg 10, says no, good, loving the Ardbeg 10. I think I've got a drop of Ardbeg 10 up there. Anyway, look, everyone that's joined me this evening, before we get going, you know how it starts. Let's have a little toast. So cheers to you all. Paul's drinking a Lagavulin 16. Now I'm starting to feel a bit jealous, but cheers. Now, just to let you know, and really I'm saying this for the regulars more than anything, because they know Cheryl, my wife. So Cheryl's not here at the moment. She's out of the house, taking advantage of the relaxing in lockdown to get out and do a little bit of food shopping. She will be back shortly, but the fact that she is out of the house means that our dogs, who are normally being looked after by her, are wandering around at the moment with all sorts of possibilities of making any kind of noise, including whining and barking and everything like that. So if you hear some strange noises in the background, until Cheryl returns, which I'm hoping is going to be sooner rather than later, then you know that that's not my stomach, it's actually one of my dogs. Barry Bullock, never here and not here again. What's this? A Wayfarer IPA. David's got Highland Park 16 Twisted Tattoo. That's quite a nice drop, that. I like that one. Mark is celebrating. Handed in your notice today. Ben Aromac 15. Mark, you handed in your notice. I'm assuming that was a choice that you, like a positive choice. What are you doing? You retiring? Are you going on to do something else? What are you doing? And Kaz Bridges, one of our triple winners of Geek of the Week, has just joined us. Hi, Kaz. Good to see you. All right. Let's start by telling you who has won our competition. So, as you know, if you're a member, even if you're not a member, you probably know now. What is this? Chuck Monachino from Canada. Got some Canadians in as well. Good to see you, Chuck. Chuck, by the way, that's my brother-in-law's name. Not from the UK, but from California. So, yeah. Where actually, I thought for a moment it was you. Or not that you were my brother-in-law, but that's who came. Anyway, I'm not going to try and explain my way out of that. But good to have you here, Chuck. Good to see you. So, whiskey competition finished midnight last night. New one started, as it does every week. We give away a fantastic bottle of whiskey to one winner in our members competition every week. If you're not a member, you should be signing up because honestly, the stuff we're giving away, not just the whiskey, but the courses and everything, sign up, sign up. Anyway, look, let's tell you who won, shall we? And I'm pretty sure, haven't seen this person on, but I think it's the first time we've had a winner from Germany. So if you're not from Germany, sorry, it's not your week, but our winner this week is Robert Morgenstern. Robert, are you there, Robert Morgenstern? If you are, then you've won. You've won our whiskey competition. If you're not there, obviously, I will be sending you an email tomorrow, which you won't know about until you get the email because you're not there. Who else is here? John Matthews, my favourite father-in-law. When I say my favourite father-in-law, of course, he's my only father-in-law. But John, how are you doing? What are you drinking tonight? Tell us what you're drinking. I'm guessing some Tullibardine. And Mark Corn, you venture, own business, good. Oh, only 39, wish I could retire. Yeah, well, look, if you're only 39, good time to start your own business. Good luck with that, Mark. Yeah, Gary's saying good luck as well. Barry, congrats to Robert. Yes, congrats to Robert. So Robert wins the whiskey for last week. And last week's spot prize winner, let me scroll this up for a second here. Spot prize winner, I was putting up this little tasting set of some Talisker. We've actually given it away once before as a spot prize. Oh, whoa. See what I said about the dogs? Right? So that's the dogs barking in the background, but that's actually good news because that means Cheryl's probably returned somewhere over there and she can start looking after the dogs for us and of course, stealing the drinks as well. As she knows. Anyway, this was the prize last week, the triple set of Talisker, and the winner of our spot prize was, let's have a look, who was our winner? That, by the way, the one that's still barking is Coco, who you've not met. I think you guys have met Alfie once before. Anyway, winner of the Talisker is Rosalind Bilek. I think that's how you pronounce your name, Rosalind. Is it Bilek or Bilek? But anyway, Rosalind, you know who you are. If you're not there, I'm going to be sending you a message. What else have we got going on? Loads of congratulations to Robert and John Matthews. You're right, Tullibardine. What else? Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's first of all do what we always do at this stage. Let's get into the first three questions of our Whiskey Geek of the Week before we go into our first whiskey cocktail of the evening. So, if you don't know how this works, and I guess most of you do, but if you're new to our broadcast, just let me tell you, we run this little quiz through the broadcast. You answer the questions yourself, you mark yourself, you're honest with your score. If you get the highest score, you go into our Whiskey Geek of the Week gallery on our website. Also, we post you on our Facebook page as well. Loads of congratulations, by the way, flying down the left-hand side of my page to Rosalind, who, again, I'm not sure if she's with us or not. But anyway, well done, Rosalind. Actually, what I had found out, by the way, is that even though we only have what looks like sort of 20 or 30 people watching at any one time, by the time we get to the end of our broadcast, about 300 or 400 people have been in or out for a number of minutes or so. And most of them don't comment. So there is a chance that people like Rosalind and Robert might be watching at some point. So yes, chuck in your congratulations. All right, so we're going to start our Whiskey Geek of the Week competition. So get yourself a pen and paper. 12 questions as ever. And as I said, last week's winner, Matt Norfolk, produced these questions for us for this week. So thank you very much, Matt. I guess it means Matt's not playing this week, obviously. And he's kept the same theme. So he's kept the theme of the first three questions being anagrams of whiskey or whiskey distilleries. So Bruce has just jumped in. Hi, all working again, doing some technical support calls from home, but I am still having a whiskey sour with Crown Royal Black, American Cherry, and some of the syrup from the jar. Wow. I mean, Bruce doesn't do it by halves, like proper, serious cocktails on the go. Plus, he's been sending me a few pictures of his cocktails, which I'm going to add to the gallery that we're just sort of sorting out on the website. Anyway, going to give you three different anagrams. You've got to move the letters around, work out what they are. Which whiskies stroke whiskey distilleries are these? So the first one is this. Question number 1. Which whiskey distillery is this? Anagram, it is Room Men Chang. In other words, Room, R-O-O-M, Men, M-E-N, and Chang, C-H-A-N-G, like the famous American tennis player Michael Chang. So Room Men Chang. So what whiskey or whiskey distillery is that? That was question number 1. Question number 2 coming up. Same thing. You've got to work out the anagram, find the whiskey or the whiskey distillery. Question 2 is this. Gas, hugs, gallon. So gas, hugs, gallon. That's gas, G-A-S. Hugs, H-U-G-S. And gallon, as opposed to gallon, is G-A-L-L-E-N. So just so you know, that when Cheryl settles herself down and logs on, there's a pretty good chance she's going to put these anagrams up. So if you're not writing them down, don't worry about it. They'll come up in the comments shortly.
Yeah, I'll do that.
There you go. See, that's the proof that she's back and arrived. And of course, the dogs are quiet now, which is how it works around here. And then question number 3, third one, the third of our 3 anagrams that we will start off with is Wind Hind Ale. Okay, so Wind Hind Ale. That's W-I-N-D. Wind Hind, H-I-N-D. And then ale, A-L-E. So those first 3 questions, you've got to work out what the anagrams are. What's the whiskey or whiskey distillery? You've got the whole broadcast to work it out. So knock yourselves out. All right. Okay, so let's get into our first cocktail of the evening. And what I've done is I've started with a really simple drink. And the reason why I started with a simple drink is that the second one that I'm doing is quite sort of convoluted but interesting. And I think I've told you for the last few weeks I've been doing a ton of filming. I've been filming all sorts of videos and courses and stuff that I'm putting up on a variety of platforms. So in the last month or so, I must have filmed the best part of 80 plus cocktail videos, edited them, everything. And in one of them, I got a bit of inspiration for the second cocktail that we're going to do this evening. So hang in for that. But the first one, real easy. And I can't even remember what I called it. Let's find out what I called it. Because, you know, I give them names. If they don't have established names, I give them names and then I can't remember what name I gave them. So, first one I'm calling a Whisky Royale Fizz. A Whisky Royale Fizz. And what we're going to do is going to build it into a highball glass. So, first things first, take our highball. And I'm going to get a little bit of ice into our highball. And I'm going to bring it up to around about, let's just chuck that in there. I'm just going to bring it up to around about halfway to start with. The first thing that we're going to put in is, of course, our whiskey. You know we've got the Ben Riet 10 here, and I'm going to put in 25 ml of our whiskey. So let's get that going and into our glass. Okay, very nice. Now I said to you this is simple, but I am bringing the whiskey together with a really successful flavour. So there are all sorts of fruit flavours that you can put together well with whiskey, but one that works exceptionally well is raspberry. This is a creme de framboise, so it is a raspberry liqueur, and this particular one is really deep, rich, sweet, incredibly fragrant, and I'm marrying it up, so I'm doing another 25 ml. So let's do that. There we go, 25 ml. Beautiful colour, I think you'll agree, for our Whisky Royale Fizz. Let's put this back on the back shelf. Now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of citrus to this. Because at the moment, actually, with that creme de framboise, it's got quite sweet. And whilst I like sweetness in these drinks, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something that's over sweet here. So I need to cut it with something. I'm going to cut it with a little bit of lemon juice and citrus. So just cutting that in half down here. And I'm going to squeeze half of the juice, or rather the juice of half a lemon, into our glass, like so. All right, that's good. Let's tip that in as well. Let's just pop that on the side. Now, here's another reason why I only put a little bit of ice in at this point. And that is that I want to stir these three ingredients together. I want to mix them, I want to chill them, and actually if the ice is all the way up to the top, it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable. So now I can give these a stir, and you can see really quickly that it blends up. So the colour, you can see just from the colour that it blends really nicely. What is this? No gossip and no pranks yet either. Oh, what from from Cheryl? Yeah, because she's late. That's why. So I've got away with the first 10, 15 minutes, and yeah, she's late. But now, Paul, you're probably starting to. She's now taking that as a challenge. I know how she thinks. She's now thinking that as a challenge. So you haven't made things too good for me now going forward. Right, back to this. I'm going to now add some more ice, bringing it up to, as you can see, now about 2/3 of the way up. And in here, I've got some ginger beer. And this is rather nice ginger beer. This one's from Fever Tree. I don't know if you know this brand. Depends where you are in the world, I guess. But really good quality, spicy, smooth. Loving this. And I'm going to bring it up to the top with the ginger beer for our Whisky Fizz Royale. Is that what I called it? No, Whisky Royale Fizz. Still can't remember what I called it. Give it another stir just to get those flavours in. And then finally, really simple, like I said, very simple drink. Down here I've got a few raspberries, so I'm just going to pop those raspberries on here, like so, and we'll just pop those in the top. And there you go. Here is our cocktail number one. Now, I actually thought that Cheryl would still be out of the house at this point, and I thought I'd be able to drink this myself, but let's see if I think that she will like this. Oh, I'm not sure if she'll like it. It's kind of sweet, but the spiciness of the ginger beer cuts through a lot of that sweetness. I know she likes raspberry. I don't know. I'm going to put it on the side. I think what's going to happen is at some point, little hand is going to slip in there and have a go at that, and thereafter, depends how it comes back to me. Depends how it comes back. All right, so that's our cocktail number one for this evening. In a second, we have the next three questions in our Whiskey Geek of the Week coming up. What's this Bruce is saying? Bruce, for someone that's working, you're doing a lot of typing onto Dream Whiskies, which, by the way, I think is a good thing. But yeah, let's see. No gossip, no pranks. I have some of that ginger beer, and it's really... Oh, you mean the... where are we? The Fever Tree. Yeah. Actually, all of their sodas are really pretty good. Jane, hi Paul. Hi Jane, how you doing? Good to see you. Bruce, it will vanish. What, meaning the drink, right? Is that what you're talking about? Will vanish. Oh, or the ginger beer. I don't know. One of those. All right, everyone. Here we go. Second part of our Whiskey Geek of the Week quiz. Questions 4, 5, and 6. This question I've slightly tweaked from Matt, but nevertheless, these are from Matt. I've just tweaked them slightly, a couple of them. But here we go. Question number 4 is, which style of bitters are used in a Sazerac cocktail? Now, if you watched us a few weeks ago, I actually made you a Sazerac cocktail, and I actually spoke about the bitters, and there's something very particular about them. In other words, I'm going to give you a clue, right? I'm not going to show you the bottle. I'm going to show you a bottle of what it's not. It's not this one, right? It's not Angostura bitters. This recipe for this drink is very specific. Do you know what they are? That was question number 4. All right. Question number 5. Let's have another little taste while you're thinking about what those bitters are. Actually, Cheryl told me that I don't give you guys enough time to consider your answers, so I'm just giving you a moment or two. Or am I giving myself an opportunity to have just another little drink? Question number 5. So when whiskey is aging... Ooh, excuse me. When whiskey is aging in a barrel, I'd like to know how much, on average, is lost from that barrel in evaporation every year. Okay, so every year a certain amount evaporates out of the barrel. How much is that? And it's a multiple choice question, so Matt's given you 3 possible answers. Is it A, 0.5%? Is it B, 2%? Or is it C, 3.7%? Yes, is it A, 0.5, B, 2, or C, 3.7%? That is question number 5. Question number 6. I'm already thinking about the next cocktail that we're going to make because I'm quite pleased to sort of show you through this. What is this? Matt, can I make 2 corrections on the anagrams? Oh, is that right? I got them wrong. Yes. Are you talking about what I said, or are you talking about what Cheryl put in? Anyway, can I make 2 corrections to the anagrams? Number 1 is room men chan. Oh, chan, not chang, okay? And number 3 is win hind ale. Okay, I said wind, didn't I? God, sorry. If you've been trying to work those out, listen, forgive me for getting those wrong. I'm really sorry. But I guess you've all been in the same boat. So Matt has just corrected those. Number 1 was not Chang, it was Chan. So there's a G that I gave you that doesn't count. And number 3 is win and not wind. So I gave you an extra D on that one. Okay, just realised the error. Didn't want people looking around for whiskies and distilleries that don't exist. Okay, thank you for that, Matt. Actually, Matt, is that your error or is it mine? Because I just gave in a total capitulating apology there, where I could have potentially dumped that straight onto you. All right, question number 6. Here we go. What is the name given to the evaporation? So we just had a question about the evaporation, how much is evaporating through the cask or through the barrel every year on average. But there is a name for that evaporation. Okay, that's question 6. So what is that evaporation called? Hello, how are you? Later than you said, have to catch up with me on the gossip. Right, okay. How are we doing? Yes, we're good. Right, so those are questions number 1 through to 6. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into cocktail 2 for this evening. But cocktail 2 is going to go on a little bit. And that's because I did a video this week for one of the courses that I've been filming. And it was a vodka cocktail course. And I looked at a drink called the Slow Comfortable Screw. I'm assuming that most of you have heard that, right? It's probably one of the most famous ones, the Slow Comfortable Screw. And I was looking into it, and it is a vodka-based cocktail, but interestingly, there are some whiskey variations. So what I decided to do was share with you the evolution of the Slow Screw, the Slow Comfortable Screw, exactly tell you a bit about how they came to be and where the names came from, all that sort of stuff. But also do them as whiskey-based rather than vodka-based. And I just thought you might be interested in that. It's a little bit of fun. So here we go. We're going to start like this. So it is an innuendo cocktail. And when we say an innuendo cocktail, we talk about cocktails that have names which are kind of innuendos. In other words, they're sort of rude or risque names. Slow Comfortable Screw being one of them, Sex on the Beach, all sorts of things like that, right? But the Slow Comfortable Screw, which goes quite a way back, certainly at least as far as the 1970s and maybe a bit further back than that, takes its name actually from the ingredients that are in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by making a very simple drink called a screwdriver. And a screwdriver is, I'm just going to put some ice into this glass here. A screwdriver is vodka and orange. I've just realised that I don't have my orange. So what I'm hoping is that while I'm talking to you, Cheryl's going to see the fact that I don't have my orange. She's going to come out the door over there somewhere and go and find it for me and hand it to me before I need it. So this drink, a screwdriver, is a mixture of vodka and orange, but we are switching the vodka around for the whiskey. So this is going to be a whiskey and orange drink. I'm now starting to lose faith in the fact that Cheryl's even watching this broadcast because she's not coming to get me the orange juice, which means I might have to disappear out of screen for about 10 seconds. Here we go. So anyway, let me get in what would be ordinarily, if I was making this sort of screwdriver, remember we're talking about a vodka drink, I'd be putting in around about 50 ml of the vodka, but actually because I'm going to evolve this as we go forward, I'm only going to put in about 25 ml of our vodka, in this case our whiskey. Right, so the next thing we need is some orange juice. Hold on a second. Is some orange juice. And here it comes. There it is. Orange juice. Right, let me open that up. What is this? Oh, and an orange. Nicely done. Okay, let's get that there. So I'm going to, actually Let me cut that open because we need some air to get in for this cut. Just going to do this down here where I can spill it without making a huge mess on the bar. All right, so here we go. Now we got it. So orange juice, and in this case whiskey. But the idea is the screwdriver, and the reason why I want you to know this, what you're saying, we've got love that decanter, thank you very much. Love the t-shirt, thank you very much. Screwdriver refers to, the word screw, in other words, refers to the orange that is in the drink, screw. So when we put orange juice, for example, into a drink with melon and vodka and stuff like that, we call it screwball. And there are other drinks that use that word, and it's all about the orange. And that's where the orange, or the word screw, comes into the slow, comfortable screw. Now, if I want to turn this drink now into a slow screw, what I do is I add something to it. And what I'm going to add to it is this. This is slow gin. This is a gin liqueur, essentially. It is sort of steeped or macerated with sloe berries. And it's not particularly strong. And it's quite sweet and sort of fragrant as well. And I'm going to put in 20 ml of that. And I'm going to pour that into our screwdriver, which gives us now a slow screw. So let me give that a stir. There we go. So we've now turned our screwdriver into a slow screw. But if I want this to become a slow, comfortable screw, I need to take it another step further. Again, another drink. Another drink where we take the name off the title of the drink. Love you. Is that a love you to me? Is that love you to me for the orange? Cheryl, you are behind on the drinks theft. Yeah, she is well behind on the drinks theft. I think she's just been sort of running around far too much. Now, to turn this into a slow, comfortable screw, we put in this. This is Southern Comfort. Again, this is where the name comes from for that drink. Okay, so adding Southern Comfort turns our slow screw into a slow, comfortable screw, and I'm going to add a little bit of that in there. That's good. And we're going to give that another stir. You can see I'm starting to run out of room in this glass, but that's okay, because, let me see, I'm going to move this into another glass. So at the moment, albeit on whiskey, we have our slow, comfortable screw, but I think many of you have heard of a variation of this called a slow, comfortable screw up against the wall. And the way we turn this into a slow, comfortable screw up against the wall is by adding this. This is Galliano. And Galliano goes into a screwdriver to create a Harvey wall banger. I guess you know that, most of you. But actually, it's the story of the Galliano going into the screwdriver that gives us the word wall. So what we have then is orange juice for screw, we have slow gin for slow, we have Southern Comfort for comfortable, and we have Galliano from a Harvey wall banger for against the wall. So what I'm actually going to do now is start to transfer this into another glass. I'm going to put this into my shaker. That is actually looking really quite big. I'm going to take some Galliano, which, by the way, ordinarily if you were making this drink would be put on afterwards. But I'm just going to put some Galliano in there now and then give it a little bit of a shake and then put it into this glass because we're going to take it to another level as well. Here we go. All right. Don't want to overshake that at this stage. Just going to pop that down the side. Let's pour all of this into this rather large goblet. There we go. And the last thing that I'm going to tell you about here is how you add a kiss to this. So we've got a slow, comfortable screw up against the wall, but you know, if you're going to do it nicely, do it with a kiss. And the kiss comes from a little splash of amaretto. And that's because this amaretto, in particular the Di Serrano amaretto, is used in those small amaretti biscuits, those little amaretti biscuit macaroons, which are known as amaretti kisses. And that's how you add a kiss to your slow, comfortable screw against the wall. And I'm just going to add our kiss by just drizzling a little bit of our amaretto into the glass. So there we have our slow, comfortable screw up against the wall with a kiss. I think what I'm going to do now is just take a nice big slice of orange. Going to cut that down the side. I'm going to pop that over the side of the glass like so. Shall I add a straw? Why not? It looks like Cheryl was not in the game tonight, but actually I do remember her telling me that she wasn't going to drink any of these this evening, which I guess is why she went out. And there, you have it. Now, out of interest, as whiskey fans, if you want to turn this into something else, if you add wild turkey to it, and it's got to be wild turkey bourbon, what you then end up with is a slow, comfortable screw, mildly comfortable, slightly wild, up against the wall, with a kiss. Wow. Imagine going into a bar and actually ordering that. I mean, how many bartenders would just say, just get out of here? Or sure you don't want a beer? Let me try it. It's gorgeous, actually. It's a really gorgeous drink. Always loved that, have to say. Right, what are we going there? Oh, Cheryl's thinking about it. What, if I put a cherry on there, is that what you're saying? Well, hold on, I can hear some movement. I can hear movement in the background. That might mean that I've got to get a cherry out. Hold on, let's get a cherry out. You guys she just couldn't stay away, right?
Get your cherry out there.
There we are. She's even talking in the background now. At one point she was staying away, now she's... Oh, you're taking that one first?
Try it.
Okay. Why do we call this off-screen reviews? In other words, if the drink doesn't come back, we know it's good. If the drink comes back, that's come back. We know she doesn't like it. Right, you going for this one?
Yes, please.
Okay, that goes in there. Here we are. I was going to have Cheryl on as a guest this week, but we decided that... actually, she decided she didn't want to. But she's going to come in next week. Coming in next week? Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Let's put that back on the bar. At least it looks like we've been doing things.
It's good.
Right, the slow comfortable screw has gone. Okay, so got a big thumbs up there. Matt saying looks awesome. Bruce, wow, nice drink. Cheryl with a please. Okay, it looks real. Plenty of alcohol. Come back with a splutter. Yeah, came back with a splutter. The first one came back with a splutter. Second one's gone though, which is good news. All right, where are we? Let's go back into our Whiskey Geek of the Week competition. See how we're doing. I love that slow, comfortable screw. It actually reminds me of when I was a kid, and that sounds kind of ridiculous, but I was taken to a bar that opened in London when I was about, I don't know, my parents took me. I must have been in my early teens, maybe 13, 14. And I think my dad actually asked me, or rather ordered one of those, something like that, because it's very much a 70s style drink. And I remember drinking it and tasting it and getting very drunk as well. And yeah, it just always reminds me of it. Reminds me of those times, which are good times, good times. All right, let's get back into that. What is that? Raspberry drink is too sour, Cheryl? It's probably just wrong for her in every way. Too sour and a bit hot. Oh, like spicy hot. Yeah, because she's got the spiciness from the ginger beer as well. Okay, question number 7, Whiskey Geeks. And by the way, it would be great, as it was last week, to have a brand new Whiskey Geek in our gallery. We all know that Michael Nolan and Kaz Bridges are sort of... well, they sort of retired, but I'm not going to let them retire. I'm going to let them back in at some point, or I'm going to invite them back in. But they're not in the game at the moment, having won it 3 times each. So question 7. Here we go. Whiskey is the official beverage of which American state? So apparently it's the actual official beverage of a particular American state. What is that American state? Which one is it? Points up the grabs. Let me have another try of this one. It's kind of spicy. I think it depends on the ginger beer that you choose. Some of them are better than others. This is a pretty good one, so it tends to have a little nip at you, I think. Lupka, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Oh, good. Liking that. Question number 8. I'd like to know, what is the minimum percentage of rye, you know, the grain rye, that must be used to make a rye whiskey? So what is the minimum percentage of rye that must be used to make a rye whiskey? Is it A, 51%? Is it B, 75%? Or is it C, 100%? So what is it? If you're making your rye whiskey, how much rye do you actually need? 51%, 75%, or 100%? Question 9 coming up, and then we are going to be getting into our Mix With Me cocktail. So if you're doing the Mix With Me cocktail, remember, what is that? Chenin Blanc for Libca this evening. Very nice and sophisticated, and kind of dry. A little bit of bite on that, I think. Yes, if you're mixing along with me, let me know. I've noticed that the Mix With Me, actually, a number of you are doing it, but you're not doing it live with me. But hey, they're all mixed with me in a sense, I suppose. But if you are mixing along live with me, let me know. And remember, whenever you do it, please send me a photograph of your finished cocktail. I haven't been putting too many of them up on Facebook. That's because I'm building a kind of gallery for your pictures, your cocktail pictures. So send them through. Please send them through. All right, question 9. Before we go into our Mix With Me cocktail, I'd like to know, what is the capacity in litres, so the capacity in litres of the most commonly used American barrel? Okay, so there are all sorts of shapes and sizes of barrel, but the most commonly used American barrel for aging whiskey, how big is it? What is the capacity in litres? And I'll give you some leeway, because if you look it up actually on Google, which I know none of you would do because nobody cheats when they do this, right? But if you look it up on Google, it gives you a kind of a leeway. So I'll give you the same leeway. All right, good. Okay, so we are coming into our Mix With Me cocktail, and I'm going to give you a chance to, let me just get this out of the way. I'm going to give you a chance to get your ingredients together. So you will need, this evening, this whiskey. Not the same whiskey, but whatever whiskey you want to use. Kieran will be making it with his new cocktail set, because Kieran won one of last week's spot price competitions where he got a 14-piece cocktail set with all the bits and pieces in there, shaker, strainer, the whole lot. So good to hear that, Kieran. Good to hear that you will be putting it to good work. We want whiskey. We want some of this. This is triple sec, Cointreau. You can use a Curacao if you've got other types of Curacao. Grand Marnier, you can use that. But that's what we're looking for. If you did the Mix With Me last week, you'll have some of that, that's for sure. Then you will need some apple juice. I've just got a little sort of single portion carton here of apple juice. Obviously, the better the apple juice, the better the drink. Those pressed ones, cloudy ones, are gorgeous for this. I'm not using that, I'm using a clear one, and that's absolutely fine as well. You will also need some of this. This is maple syrup. I'm just giving you guys a chance to get all your bits and pieces together, by the way. I'm kind of filling. And then finally, you'll need some of this. And this is cream. So 3, 4, 5 ingredients. 5 ingredients that we've used. Actually, all of these ingredients at different times over the previous months. First time we brought them all together like this. And actually, we're going to be putting together really lovely cocktail. And this one, and I have to give you the name of this one because there might be a question for the members on this, but I call this one a cold baked apple. I'm calling it a cold baked apple. You will need a shaker and you will need some ice. All right, enough stalling from me. So I'm going to put this drink together, our Mix With Me cocktail, into a rocks style glass. Old-fashioned whiskey tumbler, that sort of thing. If you don't have any of these, you can put it actually in whatever you want, but I'm just using this. Also, interestingly enough, it will go quite well in a teacup, I think. So, whatever. Just put it in whatever you can drink it back out of. I think that's probably the advice. Who else is talking to me here? Have I missed any chat? No, all right. So, first thing that we're going to do with our Mix With Me cocktail is, in my case, going to take the glass from my shaker, whatever you are making this in, whether it's a shaker, as Kieran is, or whether you're putting it in a water container, or whatever it is, bottle, jar, get your glass, get the bottom half of it. And we're going to start, obviously, by adding our key ingredient, which is our whiskey. Now, because I'm putting it into what is a 12-ounce rocks glass, I'm going to use 50 ml of whiskey. So let's get the whiskey in. 50 ml, let's bring it up to there. There we go, 50 ml. Now, if you're using a 10-ounce glass or a smaller glass, then just sort of reduce this slightly. I mean, you don't have to reduce it, but you're not going to get it all in the glass. So maybe, I don't know, you don't reduce it, you just put it into 2 glasses. So we've got that in. Next thing that I'm going to add is our triple sec, and triple sec is it's a curacao, it's a white curacao. The brand name that most people know is Cointreau, but actually it brings together spirit and juice, or spirit and citrus, in so many cocktails over the history of kind of cocktail evolution, and it really binds them together well. And in this case, it binds our whiskey together very well with the juice that we're going to add. Oh, let me measure this out. And I'm going to put in a 25ml shot of this. So I've now got this up to 75ml. Here we go. That's very nice. And of course, if you don't know, it's made from primarily the bitter oranges from the island of Curacao. And they are very bitter, but there is a lot of orange punch that comes through this. Going to sweeten it up with some maple syrup. And I'm going to do this by eye. So if you're doing it, you can measure it if you've got a measure. I'm looking at about 10ml, but I'm just going to squeeze it in by eye. So here we go. So it's equivalent to 2 bar spoons. There we are. Or 2 teaspoons, that sort of thing. That will give you 10ml. And then some apple juice. Now, like I said, if you're using cloudy apple juice, I actually think it's going to give you a better drink overall. But if you're not using cloudy and using the clear, it's absolutely fine. It works really nicely. And I'm going to put in 50 and then a bit more. So let's get our 50 of apple juice in. Here we are. And then I'm going to bring it up to about 70. So just short of another shot. Good. All right, we have all our ingredients. So in here, I'm going to put some new ice that we're going to pour the drink over. Actually, I'm going to take one of those out because I don't want it too high. And then in our shaker, in my can here, I'm just going to put a great big scoop of ice that I can shake the whole thing over. So let's pour that in. There we go. What do we got there? How do you stop the apple juice curdling the cream? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, so now let's give it a good shake. All right, let's get our glass into place. Pop that over here, and we're going to strain our 4-part drink over the rocks. There we go. Looking nice. Okay, let's pop that down to the side. Now, this is where the cream comes into play. I'm guessing that the question from Jane is thinking about how do you shake it with the apple juice. Actually, when you shake it and you shake it well, it won't curdle, it will mix. It will just sort of mix down really nicely, but I don't want to shake this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the cream over the ice on the top, and we're just going to let it sit amongst the ice, but also providing a really nice sort of creamy head to the drink. There we go. So you end up drinking your sort of apple and maple syrup and whiskey triple sec mixture through the cream that's on the top. Finally, hey Nikki, hey, sorry, little private moment with my sister from California. Saying hello sis to my wife. I think, hey, how you doing? Loving you. And I didn't tell you to get this, by the way, but it just works brilliantly, obviously, on the surface. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit in my hand. I didn't add it to the ingredients, but I guess if you got it at home, you got it at home, and you can put it in here. It's just a bit of cinnamon, and if you sprinkle some of the cinnamon on the top, then you've got the aroma of the cinnamon. I think everybody accepts and understands that cinnamon goes really well with apple. The apple and the apple sort of alcoholic mixture drunk through the cream is sensational. All in all, this is actually a really delicious cocktail. Did any of you make this? Did you make it with me? Kieran, have you made it? How's it going? How's it going? Let me know how it's going. Let's get these out of the way. This is very good. I might just hold on a second. I can see someone coming in from the right corner of the screen. Actually, no. As far as you're concerned, she's coming in now from the left corner of the screen. I might as well just hand this straight over, I'm thinking. What's this? Dessert in the glass, says Gary. Tell me about it. I mean, if you're a baked apple sort of guy, and this is actually out of reach for Cheryl, shall I do this? There you go. There it goes. Gone. Go on. Yeah, if you like this sort of thing, if you're into apples, this is a great dessert. And by the way, I call it a cold baked apple. But if you really want to knock yourself out and make it more of a dessert type drink, you can actually heat up the apple juice. Forget the shaking with the ice, but still bring all the ingredients together, put it into a heat-proof glass, and again float the cream on the top. It's going to work the same way. It's a bit like an Irish coffee. Looks delicious, says Matt. Kieran made it, just about to try it. We'll send a pic after this. Thank you, Kieran. Along with your equipment, I'm hoping. Bruce, add a splash of amaretto to that. I make apple pies with apples soaked in Disaronno amaretto. Good idea, liking that as well. Liking that, definitely. Cat jam, what's that? Oh, it's a little emoji with the, and it is. And as you can see, it hasn't come back, which means that is yet another rubber stamp job, saying that's a good one as far as the Cheryl Richter scale is concerned. There you go, even some background vocals as well. I bet that's lovely hot. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds gorgeous, says Kaz. Kieran, it's really good. Can't wait to see the picture, Kieran. Can't wait to see the picture. I think I also saw Laura there as well. Laura also won a cocktail set. Laura, are you still on? Are you on? If you're on, say hi. Did you use your cocktail kit, or is it still looking shiny in the box? All right, so that's our Mix With Me cocktail for this week. Let's do the last 3 questions of our Whiskey Geek of the Week, and then we're going to find out who is our Whiskey Geek of the Week for this week. Send our love to Nikki, says John Matthews. Loads of sort of internal family loving going on here. This is like a forum for my family to all love each other, which is kind of cool. Laura, you are there. Did you make a drink? Did you make the drink, Laura? Or, tell us, what's the verdict, Cheryl? Yeah, Gary wants to know Cheryl's verdict. Come on, darling, tell him what you think, as long as it's good. Breaking out this weekend in Donegal. Okay, well, let us know how you get on with that, Laura. That's cool. All right, question 10. Here we go. Remember, all questions according to Matt Norfolk, our previous Whiskey Geek of the Week. Question 10 is this. What is the most popular style of whiskey cocktail in Japan? Okay, it's a multiple choice. I'm going to give you 3 choices here. What is the most popular style of whiskey cocktail in Japan? Is it A, Manhattan? Is it B, a julep? Or is it C, highball? Okay, so is it Manhattan? Is it julep? Is it highball? What I can tell you is that it's one of them. Okay, what are you saying? Cheryl's saying it's amazing. I think add some cherry liqueur and you've got a Bakewell tart. Maybe we're going to have to try that. Absolutely gorgeous. Loving from California, from Nikki. I'm loving here as well. Question 11. What's that? Kipling's. Maybe we can just call the drink a Kipling's. That's a good idea, actually. Question 11, here we go. Which American soda was originally intended as a whiskey chaser stroke mixer? So which American soda was originally intended as a whiskey chaser stroke mixer? This might be in favour of our North American viewers because I'm not sure that this particular soda is very well known over here in the UK. But anyway, most of our questions tend to favour the British Isles, so I think it's about time we had some that favoured our American cousins. Which American soda was originally intended as a whiskey chaser stroke mixer? That's question 11. And then question 12, and after question 12 I'm just going to give you a minute or two where I'm going to talk about whatever comes into my head for you to get your final answers together before we go through them all. And it looks like Cheryl has actually already put up questions 10, 11 and 12, so I better tell you which one 12 is. 12 is this. Which distillery sent drams of whiskey into space? Famously, they sent whiskey into space. I didn't hear you say question 10, says Cheryl. Definitely said it, but thank you very much. And I want to know, was it A, Macallan, B, Glenfiddich, or C, Ardbeg? So was it Macallan, Glenfiddich, or Ardbeg? One of those distilleries famously sent drams of whiskey into space? Those are our 12 questions. In a moment, I'm going to go through the 12 answers. Mark your own score. If you've got the highest score at the end of it, you are this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week. You will go straight into our gallery on our website. If you don't get the highest score, you're just a whiskey geek, but not of the week, which I think is pretty reasonable for everyone. What else have I got to tell you just to break some time while you're just putting your answers together? Need to remind you, if you are a member, we have given you absolutely free access to my Whiskey Cocktail course. It is a cocktail course, fully comprehensive cocktail course looking at 20 of the world's most important whiskey cocktails. To anyone else, it costs £60 to enroll. £60, like in America, I don't know what that is, $80 maybe, something like that. That's what it costs to enroll. Okay, but if you are a member, you can enroll for free. All you've got to do is go to our website on the members page. The link is in the description, and you'll see how you can enroll for free. So far, I know only about 10 of you have done it, and you know, we're talking about loads of you that can do it. That is part of what your membership covers, so go and check that out. The other thing is, whether you are a member or not, you can also go to a link in the description which will enable you to become an affiliate. And what that means is this: if you think you know anyone who might want to enroll on my Whiskey Cocktail course, plus actually a number of my other cocktail courses as well, if you recommend them and they sign up, then you will get half of that cost. So if they sign up for £60, you get £30. That's how it works. And so if you become an affiliate and you know 1,000 people that are going to sign up, you can make yourself 30,000 quid. How cool is that? What could you buy with that? Certainly a decent bottle of whiskey. I know that. Whiskey into Space got one of those. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you the answers now, everyone. If you want to be our Whiskey Geek of the Week, you need to get the highest score. I'm going to go back to questions 1, 2, and 3. They were our anagrams. Now, we know that Matt jumped in. He corrected some of the spelling on it. But nevertheless, these are the answers we're looking for. Question number 1 was anagram of a whiskey. The anagram was Room Men Chan. Room Men Chan. And we were looking for Mannockmore whiskey, Mannockmore Distillery, Mannockmore. If you got that, give yourself 1 point. Question 2, gas, hugs, gallon. Gas, hugs, gallon. What were we looking for? We were looking for these guys. Glenglassaugh. Glenglassaugh. Didn't even say it properly the first time. But that's what we were looking for. If you got that, 1 point. 1 point. Who's talking to me? Don't know about Whiskey into Space? I've had my name sent to Mars twice. Is that right, Paul? Is that right? I've got none left. Oh, you're replying to David. Right, okay, got that, Barry. Question 3. Win Hind Ale. Win Hind Ale, we're looking for Dalwhinnie, okay? Dalwhinnie, if you got that, it's a point for you. So if you've got all 3 of those anagrams, you're already on 3 points. Question number 4, I said to you, what style of bitters are used in a Sazerac cocktail? And I reminded you, in actual fact, I made this cocktail for you some weeks ago. I spoke about the bitters. They're invented by a guy called Antoine Amédée Peychaud, and that's what we were looking for. That's them. Peychaud bitters. Peychaud bitters. So if you've got Peychaud, you've got a point. Question number 5. I asked you, how much whiskey is lost from an aging barrel through evaporation each year? So all that whiskey in the barrel evaporates through the barrel during the year. On average, how much do you lose? The answer is actually B. It's 2%. Okay? So you were given the choices of A, 0.5%, B, 2%, C, 3.7. It's B, 2%, which is a lot of whiskey, actually. If you think, 50-year-old, 60-year-old whiskey, just think how much you lose. By the way, don't be thinking 50-year-old whiskey means 50 times 2 is 100%. It doesn't work like that. It's just 2% of whatever's left. So ideally, it never actually disappears or runs out. And question number 6, I asked you what was the name given to the evaporation. This is a really famous phrase, and if you're into whiskey, you almost certainly will know this. But what do we call that evaporation? It's called the angel's share. The angel's share, because it evaporates up into the sky where angels will drink it. Which means that I'm hoping that they're having a really good party right now. That's what I'm hoping. All right, question number 7. I said, whiskey is the official beverage of which American state? I was looking for Alabama. Alabama. I actually didn't even know that. I mean, I had a little guess at it when the question came through from Matt, but Alabama, it's actually an official beverage of that state. Question 8. By the way, all of these are worth 1 point, okay? Question 8. What is the minimum percentage of rye that must be used in the production of rye whiskey? Is it 51%, 75%, or 100%? The answer is A, 51%. As long as it's got the majority rye, in other words, 51% is going to be the majority, isn't it? Then you can call it a rye whiskey. How many of you put 100%? Just out of interest. What is that? Matt saying, I can get on board with Whiskey Angels. Yeah, me too, definitely. Thinking of Whiskey Angels right now. Michael Nolan, hi Paul, hooray, I finally made it. Going to have to watch the rerun. Where have you been, Michael? Everyone's wondering where you were. Mind you, it gives everybody else a chance to win, doesn't it? Question 9. I asked you, what is the capacity of the most commonly used American barrel in litres? How big is it? What's the capacity? Well, the capacity actually is 200 litres. It's meant to be 200 litres. In actual fact, if you look it up on Google, it'll tell you it's somewhere between 190 and 200 litres. So as long as you're around there, you got your point. That's good. That's question 9. Question 10. Question 10. What is the most popular whiskey cocktail in Japan? This is a style of cocktail, actually. I asked you, was it A, Manhattan, B, Julep, or C, Highball? The answer is Highball. Highball. So that really means that you're in a highball with rocks, you chuck the whiskey in, and you top it up with a soda. I mean, that's more or less what highball is. Okay, so highball, very, very popular in Japan. If you've got that, give yourself a point. Question 11. I asked you, which American soda was originally intended as a whiskey chaser stroke mixer? So the answer to this is Mountain Dew, which I think is here in the UK, but I don't drink it, and I think it's bigger in the States than it is here in the UK. But Mountain Dew was actually designed to be drunk with whiskey. I wonder how many people who buy Mountain Dew now know that, or drink it with whiskey. And then finally, question 12, and we've had a little bit of chat in the comments about this, but nevertheless, which distillery sent drams of whiskey into space? Famously, I asked you, A. Macallan, B. Glenfiddich, C. Ardbeg. The answer is Ardbeg. Ardbeg sent whiskey into space. I wonder if that's why they named some of their whiskies what they did. So what I'd like you to do, please, is total up your scores and tell me what you got. Your score out of 12. If you are the highest, then you will be our Whiskey Geek of the Week for this week. If you are equal with somebody else, we got a tie-break question. Just to say that it was this time in last week's broadcast that I asked people to put their scores in and my comments froze. So I still haven't seen any comments come up for the last 2 minutes. I'm actually hoping that they haven't frozen again. But if my comments are frozen, and Cheryl is seeing scores. No, I've got a score come in. All right, so I've got a score for Paul Musson. Paul's got a score of 9, which currently is the leading score because no one else has put their score in there. All right, look, so while you're putting your scores in there, just to remind all our members of our Sprott Prize competition. Actually, I didn't even tell you what's this. Oh, here we go. 9 for Barry. Best place for Ardbeg, says Jane. Did it get lost? No problem, I've been here and not able to watch it all as I'm working too. Oh, that's with Michael Nolan. Dave Chilton got 6, not very good tonight. Whiskey in Space is Supernova, first done in 2014. Thank you very much. Nikki got 0 today. Well done, Nikki. I think that's a slight improvement on last time where you managed to get -2. Paul Slade, 6. All right. If you make a mistake in the weekly whiskey competition, how do you change it? I'm not sure what you mean, Michael. What do you mean? If you personally make a mistake, or if I make a mistake with the questions, or the questions coming in? Let me know what you mean by that. Cat, Jam, 7. Kieran, 7. Some good scores here, but 9 still seems to be the top score. Looking good at the moment. Is it just Paul on a 9? Let me see. Or did Barry get 9? Barry got 9 as well. So at the moment, we got 2 people with 9s. All right, just give you more chance to get your scores in. If you're a member and you're doing our spot prize competition, spot prize this week is this. It is the Big Book of Bourbon Cocktails. Big Book of Bourbon Cocktails, pretty good book. David Rose has a 9, good. So we've got 3 people now in play. The Big Book of Bourbon Cocktails will go to the winner of our spot prize competition. I won't actually go through the questions with you, but they all relate to our cocktails. And you guys all know where it is. Just head over to the website after the broadcast and the new questions will be there. John Matthews, your mother-in-law got 2. Is that right? So I'm thinking that my mother-in-law can't have got 2. So that looks like my father-in-law got 2. I'm actually thinking I might give you, not this week because we're going to do the bourbon one. Sorry, I'm out of screen. I'm coming back. But I've just realised I've never actually given away any of my own books. I think that what I might do next week, and I'll remind you of this, is give away a copy of this amazing book by me, 101 award-winning cocktails. It's not specifically about whiskey cocktails, but it's a fantastic book by a truly inspired and creative cocktail mixologist, or me. But anyway, I think I might put this up next week. Not this one, but I'll send that as a prize. If, of course, you like the idea of that. I mean, maybe you don't like the idea of that. I'm not sure. How are we doing? 3 9s. Bruce is saying, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the whiskey geekiest of them all? Well, at the moment, we're not entirely sure because we've got 3. Michael's saying, I named the Arbeck Distillery Lefroy and cannot correct it. Oh, I see. Are you talking about... oh, Michael. All right, I got it. So are you talking about on the website? Michael, just send me a little a messenger message and I'll sort that out for you. Not a problem. Paul Musson almost made the same mistake myself. Okay, fair enough. Cheryl, will you sign it for them too? Yes, I will, of course. It's not this week's prize. I will put it up next week's prize, but I will sign it too. Ooh, fantastic cover and amazing author. Thank you. From my sister, of course. Paul Slade, sign it too. Yes, exactly. All right. It looks like I think we've got a tie break. And I got a tie break question here. And now the only thing that I can't remember is whether I've used this tie break question, because I think I wrote this question into my running order about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I don't think we've had a tie break since then, so I'm still looking at the same question. I hope I haven't used it, but this is the tie break question. Kaz is saying, your book sounds fab as a price. Thank you very much. Michael Leslie, hello, I'm still here, Paul, and wondering where I can find answers for this week's competition questions. Do you, Michael Leslie, do you mean the competition that we've just been doing through this? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean on the website? If you mean on the website, it's from this broadcast. So I will put this broadcast up on the website along with the brand new questions next week. If you're thinking about the whiskey competition, you have to work out the answers for that. You can Google them as well. Or if you're talking about Whiskey Geek of the Week, we kind of done that. So I'm not sure which one you mean, Michael. But again, if it's to do with the other 2, drop me a little messenger and I will respond to that for you. Actually, you did. I think you tried to drop me a messenger just before we went live, didn't you? So pick it up in Messenger and I will sort that out for you as well. Make a note of that answer. What is that? Make a note of what answer? Here we go. Here's your tie break question. So it looks like it's David Rose, Barry, I'm not here, Bullock, and who else was in with 9? I'm just checking again. And Paul, of course, Paul Musson. So here's your tie break question. I would like you to write down, please don't Google this. As of December 2019, I'd like to know how many active Scotch whisky distilleries are in operation across Scotland, okay? As of December 2019. So not as of today, as of December 2019. That's where I've taken this fact from. How many active Scotch whisky distilleries were in operation across Scotland. I'd like all three of you, that is David, Barry and Paul, put your answers in the comments box. I will reveal the answer. I am looking for the closest without going over. David's saying the Ardbeg Distillery and Weekly Quiz. Oh, on the page. Okay, all right, I got that. I've got that. Okay, good. Right, so Cheryl's put the tiebreaker in as well. As of December 2019, how many active Scotch whisky distillers are in operation across Scotland? Let's have your answers, please, boys. I don't want you checking this out on Google. Come on, Paul, David, and Barry. Let's see your answers. The one that's closest will become this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week, an honour which seems to got no idea without Google, says Barry. Okay, Paul Muston's gone 125. David Rose has gone 250. Barry, just have a punt. Have a go. Have a little go. You might even, I'm not even going to give you advice, but you know, you've had the opportunity to see two other scores coming in front of yours. We're just waiting for Barry. And then we will have our Whiskey Geek of the Week. As I was saying, the Whiskey Geek of the Week thing has become like a huge honour. You know, I can see it, you know, down the line becoming like the biggest thing that we do at Dream Whiskies. You know, almost like a sort of Whiskey Geek of the Year, and you know, great big awards ceremony at some fabulous hotel in Edinburgh. That's what I'm thinking, or maybe not, or maybe we're just going to do it on here every week. Barry's gone 170. Okay, thank you, Barry. Here we go. So Barry at 170, David Rose at 250, Paul Musson at 125. I can tell you that the answer, as of 2019, the number of whisky distilleries in operation across Scotland was 133, which means, Paul Musson, you are this week's Whiskey Geek of the Week, and I do think that's the second time for Paul. Pretty sure that's the second time for Paul. So I'm pretty sure also David Rose has been in a few tie breaks. I'm certain of that. Barry, brilliantly well played. You should produce a badge. Do you think I should produce a badge? Maybe I should. What a brilliant idea. Who likes the idea of a badge? If we produce a badge and then, I know, let's get them out to all our whiskey geeks liking that. Like a Blue Peter badge, absolutely, Matt. But better than that. And then if you get a triple one, you get a gold badge. I know the gold badge sounds a bit expensive. But yeah, why don't we do a badge? Okay, I'm going to look into that this week. So look, nice thumbs up from the others. Thank you, Barry. Congratulations to Paul. Matt's congratulations to Paul. So there's Paul Slade. Michael Leslie, week 23. Congrats there, Paul. Look, well done, everyone. Thank you for playing and thank you for watching. Paul Muston, you know what you need to do. When our broadcast is over, please take a new picture of yourself holding another bottle of whiskey or a glass of whiskey. Get that over to me on Messenger. The rest of you, there had a few questions and things that you were thinking about, asking me questions, techie stuff. So if you just messenger me and I'll sort out offline as opposed to in there. So what we got there, or a t-shirt or a certificate. Right, so this is what I'm talking about. You know, this idea of Whiskey Geek of the Week is becoming a good thing. Maybe we should get a specific sponsor for Whiskey Geek of the Week. There's an idea as well. Maybe if I can get a sponsor for it, we can turn this into something even bigger. Now I'm liking the sound of that. All right, everyone. Hope you have enjoyed this week's broadcast. Paul Musson, get that over to me. If you are members, please go and check out the Whiskey course. It's yours for free. Everyone else has to pay £60 to enroll in it, so go and check it out. If you're not a member, go and sign up. You're missing whiskey that we're giving away every week. You're missing spot prizes. You're missing £60 whiskey cocktail courses online. All of this stuff, you're missing it just for what? For less than £5 a month. So click the link and go and sign up and be an even bigger part of what we're doing. Anyway, as ever, hope you enjoyed. If you did the mix with me, please send me your pictures anytime during the week. I'll be delighted to receive them. Winners of yesterday and last week's competitions will get emails from me tomorrow. And apart from that, I will say best wishes, love, stay safe, stay well, and I will see you all same time, same place next week. Be good.